Okay, I hit the go live right at the perfect time, but I forgot to add myself to the channel. Oh gosh, I tell you what, it's been so much fun today. So what a day. Uh, Let me see, Muskoka Oma, welcome. You were the first. Wow, grateful every day. Welcome. That's a fairly new name. I think I've seen you once before. Shenanigans, I just saw you over on Gil's channel, and Diana too. I believe you were there too. So was oh gosh, I saw a couple people, Kaylin Strain and a couple other people. I'll wait. We'll wait a couple minutes here, Diana, to see. And Shenanigans was over there. Little Lone Prepper was over there. So welcome. Gosh, good to see you all. What a challenging day it's been so far today. So we had our normal Tuesday morning breakfast. I'm not feeling too well today. Really lucked out. I was on the wait list to see my neurologist, and that has, I lucked out and got a phone call yesterday just before we went live and said, hey, we have an opening if you would like to come in tomorrow instead of waiting, because my next appointment was like 3 months away. So I went in today, did some tests, and I got to go back Monday for some extensive tests. And looks like I do have some nerve damage in my right leg. So we're going to see what we can do about that. And he also was concerned about my lack of energy. And so we're going to take a look at that as well. But, things are getting fixed. The other thing is I got my pickup into the service, right? So it's a 2021. I barely got 20,000 miles on it. And so I figured, well, with the I bought the extended service plan and all that kinds of stuff. So I figured, oh my gosh, I printed out a 15% discount coupon off the internet so that I can take it in today and get it serviced. All that oil change, tire rotation, all that kinds of stuff. Sat there for an hour and a half, had a really great conversation. I'll have to share with you with this other lady. And they brought me the bill, and I said, well, you forgot the 15% off coupon. She said, you don't need it. You're prepaid. So I figured, well, it's 3 years old and 20,000 miles, so I probably all that stuff's over. But no, they gave me credit for it. So my oil change and everything today was free. So I was so happy about that. And then the lady I talked to, after all the hurricanes and everything, there was a period where there weren't that many hurricanes, so I didn't know what to do with my food service trailer. So I was taking it up and serving corn dogs and things at the Circuit of the Americas, and I was also up at the Texas Motor Speedway for NASCAR twice a year. And then I would twice a year go down to the Warrenton Roundtop, which is the world's largest, what do they call it? Antique fair. And they do that twice a year. So I was there for 3 weeks, twice a year. And never would have thought, but the lady today that I sat next to while I was waiting for my pickup to be served just inherited 76 acres of land in that area. And she owns a company that rents electric golf carts, 6-passenger golf carts and everything else. She says she makes a killing from people at that antique fair, people using them to drive around and see all that stuff. I mean, there's 12 solid miles of antique fair along this one road between Warrenton and Round Top. And we were talking, I said, have you ever thought about converting that maybe into a prepper's evacuation site? So, setting it up so that people who are evacuating from Houston or San Antonio or Austin could come to your place and maybe park an RV or something like that. And then you could also use that during Warrenton Round Top Antique Festival and make some money off of having RV places, because people will come for the entire 2 weeks easily. And all the hotels in the small towns around are really, you can't find a room. So she thought that was a great idea. So we're going to be meeting up, and I'm going to help her plan how to convert her 76 acres into a prepper paradise. And we'll be talking about that. Let me see where we are up here. I saw Maggie come in. So hello, Maggie. Always good to see you. You ought to enjoy last night. I got into a little bit about Ezekiel 37, 38, Revelations 20, Revelations 12, a little bit of that discussion. Who's Omar? I missed somebody. Or I don't know somebody's name that you do. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Rainforest Permaculture, good evening. Welcome. Good to see you, Gene Sin. Good to see you as well. Shenanigans, of course, always. I am so jealous. I wanted one of those new Broncos. They are so good looking. They've got one in the same color as my pickup. Toyota calls it cement. Everybody else is calling it gray. But I love that color. And that Bronco in the two-tone gray, oh my God, that is one good looking vehicle. And even my wife thinks so. And she's very critical of how cars look. Sumi. Oh, wow. I'm sorry. Yeah, it does get expensive. It absolutely does. Kaylin. Oh, I wish you luck there, my friend. I wish you luck. That's, gosh, the lady I was talking to today, she just had both of her knees replaced over time. And we were talking about cataract surgery, and it was a great discussion between two old farts who are falling apart, and so it was just a great discussion. Really nice time. I was trying to read the book for the end of the month, and so far it's really, really good. The book 2 from John Grammer. What's the name of it? I have it here somewhere. I thought I had it here somewhere. Oh, it's still on the other side because I haven't totally unpacked from coming from the store today. United by John Grammer. Good book so far. I'm about a quarter of the way through. I should have it done by Thursday, the last Thursday. I'm looking for a nonfiction book recommendation because we've only got one more week on this one after this week. So if you've got a good recommendation, let me know so we can get people to order it, so I can order it, so I can read it if I don't have it. Keepy Heathen, good evening. Good to see you. Cats and Prepping. Rogue Gypsy, good evening. Good to see you as well. Theoxorus, there you are, my friend. Tucked by V, another great friend of the channel. Gosh, look at all these phenomenal people here. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for the way you interact with each other. Please take it easy on each other. If you offend somebody, offend me. Okay, don't offend the people who are in the chat, and don't offend especially my moderators. They have my permission to kick anybody out who is not being kind, polite, and friendly, and respectful. And so. And I honor their word. If they say that they thought they gave you a fair warning and asked you to do something and be polite, kind, respectful, and you didn't, then they have my full support to keep this channel very familiar, and that is family oriented because of the great people that we have that do a great job of sharing with each other and accepting each other's varying opinions and points of views with respect. And it's okay to disagree. Just don't argue. Okay. I can appreciate where you're coming from. You can appreciate where I'm coming from. We may not come to an agreement, but at least we can understand the other person has a valid reason for being where they are and believing what they believe. Okay. And just because I believe the way I do does not mean that I have to force you to believe my way, and you aren't going to force me to believe your way. So as long as we can respect each other that way, that's phenomenal. That's what the world needs more of. Okay, so let's get into this fantastic book. I've got all kinds of show and tell stuff here this evening that we will be talking about. Investing, bartering, and home-based businesses. So, of course, I have a whole bunch of stuff highlighted. One of the things, and this is a 2009 book, so we're still, 15 years ago, and he's talking about 1965 prices, and he's talking about how we have to prepare ourselves for inflation. And so he posted some 1958 prices. A lady's haircut, $1. Revlon manicure, 75 cents. A lady's shampoo and set, $1. Rubber tiles for flooring, 12 cents each. Inlaid linoleum tiles, 5.5 cents each. Vinyl tiles, 7.5 cents each. Grocery store, a leg of lamb, 65 cents a pound. Breast of lamb, 15 cents a pound. Picnic hams, 29 cents a pound. A fifth of Johnny Walker Scotch, $6.38. Hills Brothers coffee, 49 cents a pound. Car dealerships. The current model year 1958 Cadillac convertible, $4,395, brand new. A 1957 Chevrolet, 1 year old, $2,195. A 1950 Buick sedan, real nice, $165. And a 1954 Crown Vic, Ford Crown Vic V8 875. Golly, can you believe it? But then again, I used when I was in HR, I used what I called the Big Mac factor. How much was a Big Mac at that time and versus minimum wage? You'll see that as minimum wage goes up, the price of a Big Mac goes up. So right now we are probably at about 0.7 Big Macs as far as minimum wage, what you can buy with minimum wage. That needs to go up a little bit. We need to be at least at 1.1, but I don't know anybody who's paying minimum wage. Almost everybody, very market competitive. You've got to pay higher prices to get people to come in and work for you. He talks about depression-proof jobs. What should you do to get a depression-proof job? And he talks about the Japanese theory of 3Ks. If you want to keep a job forever and ever, then it has to be one of these 3Ks. Kitsui, which means hard to do, or kitanai, which means dirty. People who collect the trash, sewage workers, things like that. Those are dirty jobs, and not very many people want to do them. Same thing with plumbing. You have dirty plumbing and clean plumbing. Not very many people really want to still do dirty plumbing. And kiken, which means dangerous jobs. So if you do one of those three types of jobs, you're probably going to be pretty well. When was this? This was everybody's talking about their age. In 1958, I was 6. Yeah. I think that was 1958. Yeah, 1958. I was 6. So, absolutely. Different points of view. Just, we all see things differently, but we're all seeing basically the same thing. That's how you describe it that counts. Okay, so if you want to find a good job, ask yourself the question, what are you good at? What knowledge or skills do you have that you can use? And consider which businesses will flourish during bad times, and then seek out those jobs. They include septic tank pumping, home security, locksmithing, care for the very young or care for the very old. What can you do given your limitations? That's why I plan on being the communications guy and the cook, okay? I know that I can't run around to be an armed guard. I'm not going to be that good on guard duty. Maybe if I'm at a static listening observation post for 90 minutes, I can probably do that. But with my lungs, I'd start coughing and give it away. So I'm probably better inside in more of a sit-down type job than I would be in any other kind of a job. Now, daytime gardening and stuff like that, I'll be good. But I'm not that good at the knowledge part of that, or experience part. So I'll depend upon somebody else to teach me how to do that, or to give me instructions on how to do it. There was a brilliant quote that I found today. I want to share with you. It was so phenomenal. Where did I put it? I know I wrote it down somewhere. Gosh. Let me see if I can remember it. It was, brilliant people learn something from everyone and everywhere. Average people learn something from their experiences. Ignorant people don't need to learn anything. They already know it all. Isn't that great? Opening a secondhand store would be a great business to open. Catering to preppers as far as information, knowledge, skills that you've learned, helping the new people along the path of what we're doing, that would be fantastic. Some of the jobs that he recommends that you consider, mail order, internet sales, eBay, auctioning, especially prepper type stuff, locksmithing, gunsmithing. I agree. Gunsmithing is going to be critical. Medical transcription, accounting, repair, refurbishment of things, freelance writing, blogging, mail order, internet sales of entertainment items, burglar alarm installation, tinsmithing, broom and basket making, wheel and barrel making, pewter casting, weaving and spinning. I added in my notes from 2009, caning and rushing. Helen and I bought some old chairs in Benson, Arizona, and we were living in Sierra Vista, Arizona, right outside Fort Huachuca at the time. And we took them home, and we had to learn how to rush chairs, and that's taking the weave of rush fibers and weaving the pattern so you can sit on it and turn it back into a chair. And you have to tack those in on the bottom. And there's a specific pattern to make sure that it's stable, because when you rush a chair, you're probably only getting about 3 or 4 passes before you have to tie it together with another piece of rush and then keep on going and tack it and everything else. Really intricate on how you do that. But that's how they did the old chairs. You had the wooden frame, then you had this rush or cane area that you sat upon. So if you can do that, that would probably be good. But I'm going to give you some contrary opinions here in a little bit. Candle and soap making, cigarette making, tobaccoing, and leather working. I think leather working is going to be a really big one, especially in tack, animal tack, as far as saddles, bridles, things like that for horses. We aren't as dependent on horses now as we were. If you look back at World War II, the number of horse-drawn units in the European conflict, that there were over 50% of the European armies used horse-drawn units. Now, the U.S. Army did away with them in the early 1930s. We didn't have that many horse-drawn units. All of ours were motorized or foot. But the Europeans, especially the Germans and the Russians, the Soviets, they had more than 50% of their units were horse-drawn wagons and things like that. So we're not even talking 80 years ago, and all of a sudden there's not that many horses around. We've gone all mechanized. If we have an EMP or a CME or something goes out, there's no more production of gasoline or whatever. Use of horses is going to be critical, and there's not that much tack available. So if you can do tack, you would be fantastic. Let me catch up with comments here. Okay. Shenanigans, 7 years premature and 58. Yes, construction and repair would be phenomenal. That's a great one, Kaylin. Thank you for that ad. Hello, Holly. Welcome. Good to see you. We've missed you. Let me see. Maggie says I hope I got that fairly straight. I think I paraphrased it, but hope I got it fairly straight. Maggie says that's why she has some trade items as cooking. Figure it'll come in handy to get some work done in the garden, etc. That's great. Hey, Shenanigans, great addition. Thank you. Phenomenal. True. Livestock, animal care, raising, and that would be raising chickens for eggs, raising chickens for meat. That would be raising cattle for milk, raising cattle for meat. So yeah, there's a wide variety of specialization there. Even raising horses. I'm very lucky. We've got a Longhorn ranch just right over here. We've got a horse ranch over here and another horse ranch over here. So we've got 3 ranches very close to us. One of them the 2 horse ranches are both quarter horses, and then like I said, the cattle ranch is all Longhorns. And you don't see that many Longhorns around here that much, but the Longhorns are specifically used for meat. They aren't used for their milk. I'm sure we could find a dairy farm around here somewhere. I'm sure there's one probably out the road going towards the river. Oh, yeah. When I owned my shipping store, there's a fellow in Round Rock here that makes saddles. And like he showed me the saddle. I was shipping it for him to a customer. He measured it specifically for this woman. It was a competitive rodeo saddle, and she spent $7,000 on the saddle, and that's what we insured it for. And then, of course, the shipping was pretty close to $500. So, I mean, yeah, saddles can be very expensive. Kaylin, what a great idea. Yes, study what the Amish do. And if you have a Mennonite or an Amish community close to you, learn all you can from them. They are phenomenal, and they are also very willing to teach. I have found them to be a very amicable people, and very, very knowledgeable, very amicable, very willing to share. As a matter of fact, there's a channel here, a YouTube channel, Mennonite, something Mennonite House. But anyhow, she does a lot of teaching on how they use the stuff that they grow and on how to cook. So a lot of baking and cooking, and that's just a really great show. Oh yeah, we don't want any strangers, at least for a while. But unfortunately, that's what Selko Begovic talks about, and so does for Falagire, is that you're probably going to have these markets, lack of a better word, a black market type of an affair, or a common market where people are going to come to exchange, because bartering in and of itself is so inefficient that people are going to start congregating to see where they can have things in some sort of a market. But you're absolutely right. You're going to have all kinds of security there. Absolutely. He talks about tangibles, pay down your mortgage and everything. Use precious metals only as a hedge, not as an investment. Although I have quadrupled my money from what I have spent on my precious metals, so I'm very, very happy with that. He talks about, and remember, I've read all three of his books, his fiction books. So, and he talks about getting rolls of Morgan dimes, not Morgan dimes, Mercury dimes, rolls of Mercury dimes, and he uses those in his books for to purchase things, and so because they're 60% silver. So, remember that, and that's something you want to think of. He recommends getting firearms magazines and having that available to barter. He also says some common calibers and regional favorites. Stock up on extra 308, 223, 9mm, 40 caliber Smith & Wesson, 45 ACP, 12 gauge, and 22 long rifle. He says where he lives, the most popular hunting gun is a 30-06. Here it's 30-30 and 308. Although the 6.5 Creedmoor is really coming up in popularity. As a matter of fact, on my purchase list for this next, I'm getting ready to go out there. Let me see if I can see that. Yep. On my purchase list, I want one box of 308 and one box of 30-30. I probably should pick up a box of 6.5, but gosh, those three calibers are getting so darn expensive. He talks about buying in bulk, take advantage of Sam's Club or Costco. I did not do that. I'm more of a one can at a time type of a guy. That way I've got a constant cycle of expiration. I don't have everything all expiring at one time. However, under the current conditions, I believe that we will probably be at war within 72 to 96 hours. So because of that, I have kind of done away from my smaller size purchases and gone more towards bulk purchases. I have gone away from my individual cans. And yes, I bought a can of chili and I bought a can of pinto beans. A case of each of those. So, I'm looking more now at case lots. I'm looking now more at larger quantities, simply because I have a feeling, even if it doesn't happen in the next 96 hours, it's going to happen before the end of the year. Talks about learn how to barter and discover what's going to be appealing to the rest of the citizenry. How long will it last? How is it dividable? Is it divisible? Can you break it up into smaller increments if they can't afford the whole thing? Is it compact and transportable? Is it of consistent quality, and is it limited availability so that other people won't be able to find it? Then he talks about tools, getting all kinds of good tools. He recommends that you also have a Julian calendar with you. It just so happens my planning calendar has a Julian calendar on it. So, gosh, I still haven't done my Bible in a year for today. Today is day 226, so I need to do my Bible in year 226. I didn't do it this morning because I overslept. Wasn't feeling good, still not feeling good. I did a breathing treatment so I can hopefully last through this hour. And then I'll do my Bible in a year. I normally do that. It takes an hour, and I normally do that first thing in the morning. What are we studying today, by the way? Let me see if I can. Everything is discombobulated over here because I've got my show and tell ready for you. There it is. So my Bible in a Year class for today is day 225. Ta-da! Get to this bookmark here. Or you like my fancy magnetic bookmark? Today is Jeremiah 2, Ezekiel 28, and Proverbs 14, 9 through 12. So got to get that done. Okay. And this is the second time that I've done this particular Bible in a year, and every time I redo something, I find something that I missed the last time. But anyhow, he recommends having a Julian calendar. Okay. Wow, great. Holly, you are so lucky. Fantastic. Maggie, what a great skill to have. Although I would probably learn to appreciate whiskey for that. I would probably not want to endure that. I am such a wuss up until my oral surgeon. Plus, because of my bones, I had to go to an oral surgeon to have my teeth pulled, and he would always knock me out to do that because I'm a wuss as far as it comes to my mouth. Then it got down to the point where I was on my last couple teeth, and so my dentist said, "Well, it's time for you to get all implants." So I have all on 4 implants on the bottom and all on 4 implants on the top. I had 17 teeth pulled at one time. So of course I had to be put out for that. So I'm a real wuss when it comes to tooth pulling. I can understand that. I can appreciate that. But still, people don't understand the chemical complications of concrete and the tensile strength that's required. And oh, God, I watched a 1-hour show on how they pour concrete in, and it's a poor factor of how fast it dissipates, and that's going to determine its tensile strength. And oh my gosh, I thought you just mixed water and this stuff you get in the bag together, never realized the complications behind it as far as making sure you have it the right mixture and consistency and everything else to support certain structures. Just unbelievable. Kaylin, feathers, yes, absolutely. And I still have when I was in Boy Scouts, I had an arrow fletching kit. I still have it. My sister found it at Mom's house when Mom passed away, and I got that back. Animal hides, tanning, absolutely. Oh, wow. That's great. I was talking I go to the farmer's market. At 6 o'clock, we have our ham radio club. Then after 6 o'clock, from 7 to 8, I go to Walmart to do my weekly shopping. And then from 8 to 10, I go to our farmer's market and just kind of browbeat with the farmers. And there's one that I really like. I'm trying to get her to come on the channel. And she's talking about the advantages of raising goats. They have a very short pregnancy. They always produce the same quantity of goats. They're great for meat. They're great for milk. There's so many advantages to raising goats. I want to get her on the channel and talk about that. And then after 10 o'clock, if I need something from the LDS Provident Living Store, I leave the farmer's market and I go down to the other end of town and get my stuff for LDS Provident Living Center. I need to pick up some more powdered milk. Let me see. He says, make sure you learn how to dicker. Go to farmers markets and things like that so you can do that. He says, while it doesn't hurt to point out a defect on an item when you're negotiating, never run down the quality or condition of anything that you are bartering for, because that would just irritate the other person and they may seek retribution. Okay, so that's kind of what he had as far as recommendations. So I want to show you, I have 4 candle making kits, and I want to show you this. I found this. I am an affiliate. I am not going to give you my affiliate code because I want you to take advantage of this and save money. If you want it, and this is right for you, then I would much rather you have it than me make money. Okay, so I want to show you this. This is currently available at what am I doing here? There we go. There we go. There it is. Okay. So this is currently available on thatdailydeal.com. THAT daily, DAILY deal.com. So this is a normal, what happened to it? Don't want to do that. There it is. I hope that's right. No, wrong. There it is. Okay, so this is normally $50 a kit. You can get 2 of them at $20 each, $19.99 each, and get free shipping. And this is enough to make a minimum of 8 candles, and you can make more than that. Okay. Now, I don't want you to, I'm not the kind of guy that says, I want you to make candles and go out and buy a whole bunch of wicks and go out and buy a whole bunch of soy wax or anything else. I want you to get the wicks, yes, but I would much rather you spend your money on candles. I got these from Azure Standard. So these are beeswax candles. Buy these. Then when they get down to the nib, then you're going to melt these together. And if you have the wicks, then you can take the nibs of all these candles and turn those into a candle. But if you're going to invest everything in candle making stuff, don't. Make it, buy it already pre-made, then have a way to restore them after it's done. I would much rather see you get the soy wax candles. These are 6 emergency candles. I've seen them at Walmart. I know that they have them at the dollar store. These are $1.25 for 6 6-hour candles. Far, far better value. When they get down to the bottom, you melt them, pull the wick out, put them into a new mold. So this is the candle mold for just a little bit shorter, maybe ½ inch shorter than these candles. Okay. So I'll show you here. So this mold will accommodate these candles. And so, after you've got these down to the bottom, melt that wax, pour it into the mold with a new wick, and you've got a new candle. But spend your money on things like this right now, plus additional wicks. So the wicks come like this. Okay. Now you want to read up here, and it's going to tell you what diameter the top of the candle molds you're going to be using is, because you have to have different thickness to absorb more wax in order so you don't burn up all your wax all at one time or not burn up enough wax and stifle it. But you want to measure the size of the container you're going to have for your candle. You want to make sure you have the right diameter. You want to make sure you have the right height. And the third thing, there are 3 primary sources of wax for candles. There's soy wax, paraffin, and beeswax. The reason I have 4 candle making kits is because I have a separate melting pot for each one of the 3. Then I have a 4th melting pot that says, I don't know what this is, but I don't want to mess up my other 3. So this is my kind of junk pot. Where I'll take anything and melt it in there at one time and then pour that into a new candle. So, just something for you to consider. They also have wooden wicks. So this is my overflow box, dog food. But they also have wooden wicks. Great. They sparkle a little bit as they're burning. But, I would say, just do something like that. That's going to be very, very high demand. People are going to want to see at night. And so if you can learn how to make candles and make them for your neighborhood and recycle their used stuff, that's going to be great. Let me catch up with chat before I give you some more stuff. Wow. Let me see. Dairies are dependent upon outside markets. Milk is priced up daily as they do not have storage or processing. Also need outside feed. That's correct on all of that. I paid for part of my college hunting coyotes in El Paso, where I grew up, and we would hunt coyotes, and the farmers gave us ears. They would sell us, or they would buy ears from us from the coyotes to prove that we killed them, because coyotes in El Paso were eating all of the dairy cattle. Muskoka Oma, I cannot tell you how much I dislike it. But, because I always, my fat thumb, when I'm texting, I always get extra B's and C's that make no sense and inserted into the conversation. Ask Maggie. I am a terrible texter. I need to start the voice, what do they call it? Where you talk and it does it for you. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You can also get a good dental kit on Amazon, and it has some topical anesthetic in it as well. Yeah, so it's my gold has doubled in price, and so or tripled, and so has my silver. It's I wish I had bought more. Oh wow, great! Thank you for that recommendation. Oh wow, that's a great title. Let me see. I learned a little bit of leather crafting to get my leather crafting merit badge and Boy Scouts. Of course, leather crafting was one of the things they had at the rec center in the Army when you're overseas, and so I did a little bit there. I got more into photography than I did leather crafting. I probably should have gotten more into leather crafting. I wish my bow is from when I was in high school, and so I've just recently restrung it. So it's a like a 60-pound draw weight. I probably need a newer bow. I probably need I would much rather have a crossbow, to be honest with you. But that's it. Hand tools, yes. Kitchen hand tools like the hand mixers, those are going to be critical as well. Yeah, I have a feeling that there will be civil strife here in the U.S. after the election. Doesn't matter who wins, the other side is not going to accept it. Wow, that's phenomenal. I love that. I'm allergic to leather. So they use formaldehyde and formoterol products to cure leather, and I'm allergic to formaldehyde. So, when they embalm me, you're going to see me break out in the casket like you would not believe. Okay. I think I'm pretty much, no, it says there's more. Oh gosh, a lot more. Wow. Hello, Aldo. Welcome. Good to see you. Spanish medical books is fantastic. Yeah, mine are all ceramic. My teeth, my mouth full of teeth, cost me more than my first house that I bought in Sierra Vista, Arizona, in 1987. Thank you, Muskoka Oma. That's a great suggestions. I have heard that, Sumi. I have heard that that we probably the first thing I heard in this lecture about milk was that we are the only animal on Earth that consumes another animal's milk. All of the other animals refuse to consume the milk of another animal. We're the only animal species on Earth that does that. The second thing that I heard was if you are going to do it, then the preferred best milk for a human being is from a goat. That is the preferred. Second is sheep, and then third is cow. So that kind of reinforces what you're saying. Yeah, it's oh God. You think you know something, this is that old Dunning-Kruger effect. You think you know something, you think you know, you mix a little bit of water and a little bit of saccrete and you got concrete. But man, the more you get into something, the more you realize you don't know that much about it. And gosh, I admire people who have expertise in areas that I don't. Just and which is like 99.9% of the world. I don't have an expertise in. Butter from Hey, Rebecca, welcome. Good to see you. So she's made butter from goat's milk. How was that? Is that pretty good? Not here in Texas, I can guarantee you that. Probably the fire ants might eat the concrete, but no, we got to add water. Yeah, and that's why Cut by V, I'm recommending this thatdailydeal.com. And it's this was actually 3 days ago, that deal, $19.99 for a $40 or $50 candle making kit, but that gives you everything you need. 2 of them, shipping is free. So you're spending $40 on the kit that for 2 kits that would normally be $50 each plus shipping. So for $40, you're getting $100 worth of kit plus the free shipping. And so I recommend that for anybody who's interested in that. That's another thing that you might want to consider getting is a butter churn. Just think of what you could do with a butter churn that nobody else has if you have access to cream in a post-apocalyptic world. Thank you for that recommendation, Rebecca. That's a very wise thing. Yeah, some sort of a butter churn. And it's just a small hand churn would be great. You don't have to have the big one. Okay, just a small one would be great. I get my molds and wicks from a professional supplier, but I also get them from Crafts, etc., and I also get them from Michaels. So Crafts, etc., or Michaels. Both of those are Hobby Lobby is another one you can get them from. I've gotten them from Hobby Lobby, but all 3 of those have them. They also sell beeswax, soy wax. Don't buy that. Just instead of buying the wax, get the wicks. Don't buy the wax. Just buy candles, okay? And then use the leftover wax from the candles. What does a candle melting pot look like? Just 1 second. Okay, hope I didn't keep everybody in suspense too long. This is it's got a P on it. So this is the one I use for paraffin. And it's just a pot, okay? And I recommend that you always put this in a double boiler, okay? Do not put this directly over a flame. You can put it over a electric warmer, but I wouldn't put it over a direct flame because you could ignite the contents on the inside. So if you're going to use a fire as a basis for warming it, put it in a double boiler, and that way you're putting it in the boiling water instead of directly in contact with the flame at the bottom of the pot. But this is what it looks like. So I have one for paraffin, I have one for junk, I have one for soy wax, and I have one for beeswax. So I have 4 different pots. They don't all look exactly alike. Like my beeswax one, the handle is actually made so that you can hang it on the inside of a pot of water that you're boiling. Yeah, that's a fantastic way to do it. That will work extremely well. You can just use a regular pot, a small diameter saucepan or something like that would work as well. Yes, and so I think I've done a short on how to take a tuna can, you use a side opener, and then you roll the paraffin so that the core is sticking up, and then pour melted paraffin on top of that. That's why I buy paraffin, is to make these little, I call them Boy Scout stoves. It's what we carried with us in our backpack in the Boy Scouts. Take the lid off because you got the side opening, the lid still fits on it. You can keep that in place with a piece of string, rope, rubber band, or anything like that. And then that acts as a burner, and a really nice little burner. So I probably made, maybe 2 or 3 dozen, and I'll give those away to my neighbors. During Ice-Mageddon, I gave a couple away for people to keep their homes warm, and but probably give those away to, barter items for them to cook with. Oh yeah, ghee is going to be very important too, and I would stock up on that as well. Um, Let me see. See if I can catch up. You guys do such a great job in chat, and I keep on talking, and I apologize for that. But gosh, you're doing such a great job keeping each other. Uh, yeah, $5 an ounce. You aren't going to find that anywhere right now. I think it's up to $28 an ounce today. So I will tell you that when I was working, when I had my store, I was every other week I would buy $100 worth, and at that time it was like $12 an ounce. So, and now it's 28. But I started buying when it was 4, 5, 6. I have a problem with yogurt. I don't like the idea, Maggie, of something alive going into my body, and it's a live culture. So, just it's a psychological thing that I have a problem with. But Helen loves yogurt. She eats more yogurt than I can ever even consider doing. Oh wow! So you could be able to teach people how to do that. But there's an awful lot of specific tools you need for that as well. Hello, Ed Phelps. Welcome. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you being here. Hope I'm catching up to the end here. Do have a couple things I'm going to share with you what my plans are for this week. Michelle Mitten, Prepper Veteran, welcome. Good evening. I know it's really late for you. You and Rebecca, Maggie, all you people on the East Coast, thank you so much for staying up so late for me. I greatly appreciate it. Wow. Yes. And that doesn't count markup. And right, I don't know what it's crazy, but a little while ago, I was getting 50 cents to $1 over spot for purchases. And now, for an American Silver Eagle, if you want an American Silver Eagle, you're going to pay $5 over spot to get an American Silver Eagle. That's ridiculous. I've never paid anything like that before. And so I've stopped buying. I just, the price of it's gone up too high, although a lot of people, that's probably good for you to get in now. It's better now than it will be. So you can make some money. But $5 transaction fee over spot is a little bit expensive for my taste. Oh, wow, shenanigans. I think you're very, very lucky to have that. Okay. I think I'm pretty much... Hello, Lord Tachanka. How do I get up so early? I was in the Army for 21 years. And so I wake up every day at 4:30. And that's why I'm worn out by this time at night. This one's open. So it's dark outside. Can you tell? But anyhow, but we would be up. Remember the old slogan, the Army does more before 8 o'clock than most people do all day. And that is the absolute truth. So we had PT and everything else and first call, and it was something else, and mess hall and everything. So I just got into this habit of I wake up at 4:30, and my prayers usually last from about 4:30 to about 4:50, then a cup of coffee, then I do my hour of Bible study. So, and I like to do all of my personal religious time and study and everything else when my family is asleep, so I'm not taking away from my attention to them, because we need to give time to the people we love. We need to give time to the deity we love, and so we can't take from one to give to the other. We have to give to each. So if that means I have to sacrifice some of my sleep time in order to keep the two separate and give the appropriate amount of time of attention and love to each one separately, then that's what you have to do. That's just my thought process. So Holly says her husband's pretty much the same way. I'm a little bit late sleeper compared to him. I'm 4:30 instead of 4:15. So Michelle is a combat medic veteran. So yeah, she thinks the same way we do. Theoxerus did night shifts. I worked mids. I loved the mids when I was at Fuel Station Augsburg, and that was from 11:30 p.m. to 7 a.m. And the reason I loved that was I did 33% of the analysis and reporting for that department. Swings did 33%, but they had 2 people. And then Days did 33%, but they had 3 people. So I was 33% for one person, and Swings was 16% for each for 2 people, and then Days was 11% per person. So I felt I was far more productive on the mid shift all by myself. The bad thing about it was 3rd of the 63rd Armored, 1st Infantry Division, was right next doors to our barracks, and so they did their PT in the morning just after I fell asleep, and they would make sure that they yelled at the top of their lungs when they ran by my NCO barracks. So that was something else, But yeah, we are what we are. Okay, so let me see. Ed Phelps says, my sister says there's a thing called a circadian rhythm. Yes. Yeah, I've heard the same thing. And that gets disrupted on shifts if that time period specifically is interrupted. Thank you, Aldo. And the same thing. I appreciate all the people with whom I have served. Fuel Station Augsburg, we probably had maybe 1,000 people that were passed through there over the time that it was open. So we all are very intimate and close to each other. And one guy who's still here started a program about 10, 15 years ago on Facebook. And every October he puts out an in memoriam and 15 seconds on somebody we served with. And the first year it was okay. It was 4 or 5 minutes. But gosh, now it's like an hour. And so last year I was sitting there watching it and started crying. And Helen came up and patted me on the back and she says, "But you're still here. All those other guys are gone, but you're still here." So that's what's important. Excuse me for a minute. Small drink. I worked with some of the best in the world. Okay, some of the other things I want you to do. The things I'm concentrating on getting as for this shopping cycle, I want to get some more contractor bags, trash bags. I want to get some tall kitchen trash bags. I want to get one of those 2 packs of 1 pound propane tanks for my Mr. Buddy home heater. I'm going to get another package of these Sterno propane fuel tanks for my indoor cooker. I want to get another case of my indoor Sterno heaters for cooking indoors. I want to get what is that? I want to get some more wood wicks at the Hobby Lobby. I want to get some more wicks for a 4-inch wide jar. 4-inch tall, 2-inch wide jar. So you need to buy them by what type of substance you're going to be burning. So beeswax, paraffin, or soy. And then you also need to buy it according to the diameter of the jar or whatever you're going to be making your mold in. I want to get a case of tuna and a case of chili. If it were me and I didn't have one, I would make sure that I had one of these right now. This would be my priority. I am so afraid that the vast majority of people are not going to know how to handle human waste or other waste, and that there are going to be diseases like you would not believe running rampant. And so if you don't have some good antibiotics to handle those diseases from other people not being able to properly dispose of human waste, it's going to cost you severely. So I would say this is a number one priority as far as what I would get right now. I probably would not wait. What else did I want to show you? I think that's pretty much it. I've pretty much got that. Okay, yeah, candles. Candle you can get on thatdailydeal.com. Get a Jace case if you can, please. If you can put it on a credit card and put those payments out over time, I think that would be a wise decision. So let me see. Okay, catch up here. Oh yeah, and I have a harder time going west than I do going east. I can wake up earlier, but I have a hard time waking up later, and it takes me longer to adjust to that. I don't know why. But when I fly to Asia, I always have a far harder time adjusting to the time difference than when I fly to Europe. And then, of course, when I fly to Europe and then fly back home to the U.S., even though it's only a 5-hour difference, 5-6 hour difference between Germany and Texas, it still caused major problems when I came back for the first couple of days. Yep. Gosh, and just think, right there, okay, it came just before y'all, before this live. And I'm not going to look at them because I'm going to do this live so that my grandchildren can watch. But Thursday, I'll open my my dozen years of life birthday presents from my grandchildren. So this coming Thursday is actually my 72nd birthday. I've been saying I'm 72, but the actual birthday is this coming Thursday. My birthday is so important that the Catholic Church makes it a holy day of obligation. All Catholics have to go to church on my birthday. Yeah, we had the ANFLR 9. Yep. And they had a smaller one, an FLR 37 in, where was that? That was in, what's the name of that town in Italy? But anyhow, yeah, the Flare 9 is now the property of the Deutsches Nachrichtendienst. So they're equivalent to our ASA or NSA. So they now have possession of Field Station Augsburg. They tore down Field Station Berlin. Well, they tear it down. They gutted it out. There's no need for it anymore since the country's reunified. They tore down the Tory Tower at Detachment Wilbeck. So all of our good listening posts on the East-West German border are gone. Thank you, Sumi. Just so doggone many great guys that I worked with. Yeah, most of them are. We called it a scud target. We knew that because of what we did, that we probably were a scud target for the Soviets the minute that the war started. Well, thank you, kind sir. That would be fantastic. Yes. So please don't think I'm paranoid, but yes, Contingency Medical is another fantastic one. I would say I've got links for both of them in the comments down below. So choose the one you want to go with. Get one of the two. The only reason that I say Jace is Jace has a wider selection of things that are available to you than is Contingency. Check them out. I have discount codes for both of them. Either one is going to be there. My thing is, do the deal that's best for you, that gives you the best price, that gives you the antibiotics that you're going to need in case of a disaster, to prepare you, because I think people, I almost knocked St. Francis over. Oh my God. Okay. put my Jace case back on top, and it sits on the top of the head of St. Francis. So anyhow, that's it. Let me see what I've got here. Gosh, so many comments, and I'm not even close. I try to. I want to get my general ham license before, I want to go for September 1st test date, but I'm probably going to put that out by 2 months because I really have not done any studying. I've been doing so many other things. We've got the book of John. We started our at church. We have a 2-hour Bible class every Thursday. And so we started the book of John. That's going to be 16 weeks. And so I've got that going on. I'm an instructor for RCIA, which is the Roman Catholic Initiation for Adults. So I teach basically the Roman Catholic Catechism, and that is, I think it's 22 weeks, and that's 2 hours a week. So that starts up here September 8th. There's so much going on, but we do what we do when we can. And then, of course, I usually average 2 to 4 cases where we're helping the people who need our help, whether that be rent or electricity or gas payments or just food or whatever. But I'm usually case manager for at least 4 people a week with St. Vincent de Paul. And that's a very important part. Remember, Matthew, I believe it's 25. Really, really important. I'll just take your time for just 1 second. And whether you believe in the Christian Bible or not, this is just a darn good thing. It's fantastic advice. Set it aside from the theology and just put it into humanity. And it says, amen, I say to you, whatever you did for one of the least brothers of mine, you did for me. Then he will say to those on his left, depart from me, you accursed, into the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was hungry, and you gave me no food. I was thirsty, and you gave me no drink. A stranger, and you gave me no welcome. Naked, and you gave me no clothing. I was ill and in prison, and you did not come to care for me. Then they will answer and say, Lord, when did we see you hungry or thirsty, or a stranger, or naked, or ill, or in prison, and not minister to your needs? And he will answer then, amen, I say to you, what you did not do for one of the least ones, you did not do for me. So depart from me and go into the eternal punishment, but the righteous will go to eternal life. So basically what Matthew's telling us is, we have an obligation to take care of our fellow man, to feed them, to keep them warm, to clothe them, to house them, to visit those who are in jail, to visit those and give them, peace of mind, to visit those who are in the hospital and give them hope. And so I hope that's something we can all do together, because we need to build a community of togetherness where we're helping each other all the time. So that's kind of my personal philosophy. That's where my life is I show my love by how I take care of other people. So with that, we will pick it up one more time. I'm sorry I'm not going to get to some of these comments, but it looks like there are so many. Let me tell you, there's nothing better than Asian food in Germany. There's nothing better than Italian food in Germany. There's nothing better than German food in Germany, and Austrian food and Hungarian. God. As a matter of fact, my favorite meal, and Helen's going to fix it for me for my birthday, is Käse Spätzle, which is cheese spätzle, and it's doppelbackt, so it's double baked. That's what they call a casserole. But it's onions, spätzle, cheese, ham, all put into a casserole and then baked, and then cheese on top of it. And that was from a Austrian. No, it was a Czech. It was a Czech restaurant in Augsburg, and so the food over there is phenomenal. Got to have it. Okay, let me see if there's anything else. And thank you for that wish for a happy birthday. I appreciate it, Tuck by V. Not tonight, Thursday night, but that's okay. I tried to get my free sopapillas at breakfast this morning. They said, no, you have to come in on your birthday. So I got to go back Thursday morning to get my free sopapillas. So Maggie says she has 2 Australian Shepherds. Okay. You know, and there are philosophies in all religions that we should all understand and appreciate and heed. Because what are they designed for? Theology is designed to make us better people, to make life better for those around us. And so it doesn't matter how you believe that, as long as you enact it, then I think that that's better for mankind. That we just need to find a way to be considerate, kind, polite, and respectful. I'll say that again here in just a minute. So the book of Numbers, chapter 6, verses 24, 25, 26. I'm sorry, I'm still caught up in my friends from Augsburg who have passed away. One of them taught me how to be a coin collector, and he's gone, but golly, there's so many great people. And, you know, some of them I had like 7, Kyle and Jenny. I went to intermediate Russian with them. That was a year at Monterey at the advanced Russian class. Then from there, we did 3 years at Field Station Augsburg together. And then all 3 of us got sent to Goodfellow Air Force Base, where we were instructors teaching Russian voice intercept together. So I had 7 years out of my 21-year career with that husband and wife duo. And so it's such a small career field that, you know, you have a lot of time with people. I'm still on Facebook with several people that I served with that you just develop those relationships and they last forever. Okay, the book of Numbers, chapter 6, verses 24, 25, 26. The Lord bless you and keep you. And I mean that sincerely. The Lord let his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord look upon you kindly and give you peace. So I can't tell you how much I appreciate the fact that we don't hype each other, that we don't scare each other, that we concentrate on solutions and not on problems, that we are a solution-oriented family who provide mutual support, and that we are kind, polite, and respectful to each other, that we're all together because, you know, in the end, it's being together that's going to get us through this. So thank you all for being here. Can't tell you how much I appreciate you. I will for sure see you Monday evening. We don't know for sure what we're going to talk about yet, but there will be something good, I guarantee you. Do me a favor. In the meantime, if you have a favorite nonfiction, kind of like this one, How to Survive type of a book that you think you would like to recommend for us to start in September, please send me an email and let's discuss it so that I can have some good ideas on what interests you. Okay. Might be a gardening book, a cookbook, food storage book, self-defense book. I don't care. What's of interest to you that we can do after we finish next week's last chapter on this one. Take care, everybody. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.